Okay, hi again, everyone. Luckily, I'm not the last one, so I'm not separating between you and your drinks. So in this light and fairly short presentation, I will present LFDL, Linux Foundation Deep Learning Foundation, and I will explain why we did it and what we are doing now. So we heard it a few times today that there are many solutions out there, many open source solutions out there in AI, machine learning, and deep learning. But the main problem is that everything is fragmented and there are many different solutions, and it's not really easy to come up with an AI machine learning application. And this is why we collectively decided that it will be smart to start this LFDL, Linux Foundation Deep Learning Foundation. So the goals are to accelerate the development and the usage of and the adoption of AI ML, to have, as I said earlier in the panel, easy to implement solutions, and Acumus is, I think, very good in that, and to create an ecosystem for collaboration. And you will see later that we're at the beginning. We founded this foundation in March this year, so we are a little bit over half a year, and we already gathered, I think, very nice momentum in this foundation. So for those of you who are not familiar with this foundation or this type of foundations, LFDL is an umbrella foundation, similar to CNCF or LF networking, if you're familiar with those. And there is one on for automotive. This is a single governance body with many technical projects under it. So in our case, we have currently 3 technical projects. We spent a lot of time today on Acumus. I will briefly explain what is going on here. I didn't touch. Ruben, is it you? It's you, I know. So, when we started LFDL in March, we announced it's with Acumus. Acumus was announced in March as well. And recently, in late August, we added EDL and Angel. I will explain those briefly later. And I would like to spend 2 minutes on the structure of an umbrella project or umbrella foundation. There is a governing board, which is responsible for all of the decisions and mainly the budget. And Mazin, who opened this day, is the chair of the governing board. Under the governing board, there are a few committees or councils that helping the governing board to execute its mission. There is an outreach committee. The outreach committee is responsible for all the outreach activity. It's kind of the marketing committee of the Linux Foundation Deep Learning Foundation. Ruben is a member there, for example, and this day was, we worked on this day via the outreach committee. So the outreach committee helped us to create or do this day. There is a legal committee, budget committee, which is starting to get more momentum now. And the Technical Advisory Council, which I am chairing. This the TAC is responsible to overlook the different projects and to communicate needs between the projects and the governing board. We are not managing the projects. We are not governing the projects. Each and every project has its own governance and its own methodologies and whatever. And every project that is joining the LFDL or an umbrella project can bring its own governance and methodologies. We are just coordinating in the TAC, and I will give a few examples of what we are doing in the TAC, but if you have a project or if a project comes into the LFDL, we will not interfere the project. We will just help the project with some capabilities that we have as part of the Linux Foundation Deep Learning Foundation. There are two tiers of membership. Actually, I would say three tiers of membership. Premier, and we already have 9 premier members. Ericsson just joined recently, and blame Nimish that you have to stay until drinks. So we have 9 premier members and 7 general members. The big difference between them is the seats in the different committees. So premier member, each premier member has a seat in the TAC and the governing board. And on top of that, each project has a seat in the TAC as well. And there is one member of the general members that is representing the general members in the governing board as well. Currently it's 1. If we will have many, so we will change it maybe to 2 or 3. It depends on how many general members we have. But there is a third tier, which is just participating. You don't have to be a member in order to contribute code, in order to use LFDL open source solutions or frameworks. It's open source. You can participate, you can join, you can use, and if you want to influence in the governing bodies, you have to become a member. So, yes. Do we have limitations? I don't remember having this limitation, but maybe. Scott already had to leave, but I don't think we have, we are not there yet. This is not our problem yet. I think we mentioned today Acumus, so I'll not get into details. This is the first project. The second project, Angel, which was contributed by Tencent. This project is trying to solve the problem or solve the problem of running very, very, very big machine learning models with billions of parameters. They are solving it, or the project is solving it using parameter servers. And this is the second project that we have in LFDL. Currently, like you can see the numbers, I updated it yesterday, I think. 1,300 commits, 30 contributors, and of course, Apache 2.0 license. The third project, EDL, or Elastic Deep Learning. This is a project contributed by Baidu. And this project is trying to solve the problem of server utilization in cloud. They use Kubernetes in order to do it. And according to, I'm not really deep into the details, but according to what they say, it's improving dramatically the utilization of the servers. They know how to turn on and turn off servers when there is no need for the servers or when there is a lot of need. Again, you can see the numbers, about 1,000 commits, 14 contributors, and you can see the GitHub entrance there. Yes? So, a good question. Currently, it supports only paddle, but they are, so in the roadmap, they would like to add TensorFlow as well. Currently, it's paddle, yes. So, you want this slide? So, what's next? And by the way, as Ruben said at the beginning of the day, all the presentations will be online somewhere. Where? We will let you know, okay. So what's next? So what's next? What we are doing is basically trying to expand LFDL. We are trying to bring more projects, more companies into the team. One thing that we are doing in the TAC is we are trying to build a map or a landscape like that. This is the landscape of CNCF. We would like to have such a map that brings all the different elements in the AI landscape. And then it will be easier for us to understand, okay, when we bring a new project, it will be easier to understand in which layer it exists or playing part. So this is a really early draft. We will work on that, and I hope that very soon we will be able to have something that we feel good on with. And by the way, if you would like, we will be happy to have your inputs, and please contact me or LFDL. And we are meeting many companies and many organizations and frameworks, projects, and we ask everyone, please help us with that. So it's a work in progress, and please help us. So the other thing that we are doing, we are running by once in 2 weeks. I don't know what bi-weekly is, once in 2 weeks in the US and twice a week in the UK, right? Or something like that. So every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks we have a TAC meeting. All of our TAC meetings are open and recorded and uploaded to our wiki. And what we are trying to do in those TAC meetings are two things. First, to work on this map or landscape that I showed two slides ago. And on top of that, we are trying to bring more and more projects to present to the community so we can first identify what is relevant for us. And I can give many, many examples here. We met Annex. We had people from, I think it was Microsoft presented Annex, the developers of Annex. We made Kubeflow a few weeks ago. The Google team presented it, and we immediately identified with both of them the needs for and how we should implement them as part of Acumus, for example. We met Pachi Derem, PMML from IBM. And actually this week on Thursday, TAC meetings are Thursdays, 9 a.m. Eastern. We have the AI Fairness Project, and I hope it will not be just presenting it, maybe contributed, maybe IBM will contribute it to LFDL because it's already an open source, right? It's an open source, but we want to have it as part of LFDL. We had PFA as well. We met Chainer, not as part of the, not yet as part of the TAC meetings, but they are on the pipeline for presenting that. pipeline as well. And we actually talked recently with Uber, who would like to contribute Orovod to LFDL, and they will present us soon as part of the TAC, and maybe it will be only one presentation and voting on having Uber as part of LFDL and this specific project, which is a very interesting project. So Scott is not in the room, so I can say whatever I want, and and okay. Can you? So, but you can see all the big players here. You can see Facebook here, Annex, and Microsoft. You can see Google with Kubeflow. You can see Uber. You can see Chainer, which Seldon is on the pipeline. So IBM with PMML and coming week, Thursday. So we really hope that we will manage to bring all the right players to the board and on board and play with us. So I said that we are focusing on that, and two aspects that I wanted to add are that we are looking now to bring AI fairness and machine learning biased solution or unbiased solutions into Linux Foundation deep learning. We think this is an area that an open source organization should promote. So maybe IBM will contribute, and this is an area that we are focused on. And another area that we are focused on is data. We would like to create projects around data, and this is really at the beginning of the discussion. But if you have big data sets that you would like to open source, come to us and we can have a discussion about that. I assume that we will have some projects started in the near future. So this is basically what I wanted to do. And questions?
Ofer, did you discuss pipeline AI before? What are they doing? This is interesting to know. What is the pipeline AI?
So they're on the pipeline of our TAC meetings.
Oh,
Yes, we will. This is a tiny company from Silicon Valley. We met them last Friday for initial discussion. They are playing in the same area as Pachyderm and some others, but they will come to present us soon. They would like to contribute their code into, or their open source part of their solution to LFDL as well. It will take some time probably, but there are discussions. More questions?
how about Chainer? Chainer also present?
Chainer, we met like a month ago, something like that. They are in the pipeline. They need to work it out. It's not easy because there is a lot of legal aspects behind contributing a project, and so it's in discussion. We met them, not the TAC, only the Linux Foundation team and myself, and they are in the pipeline. They will present to the TAC in order to join LFDL, I hope. By the way, Chainer is the most popular machine learning framework in Japan, and is sponsored or heavily sponsored by Toyota, if I remember correctly. More questions? I have 42 seconds.
Can't waste that time.
Can't waste. Okay, so thank you very much.